Chapter 4. Promptly at 5:30 the next afternoon, I crossed the street to Claudia's house and rang the bell. Claudia answered it again, this time wearing a baggy yellow and black checked shirt, black pants, red jazz shoes, and a bracelet that looked like it was made from a telephone cord. Her earrings were dangling, jointed skeletons that jumped around when she moved. I noticed she wasn't wearing any makeup. "Mom and Dad wouldn't let me," she said. "Well, you got away with the skeletons." Claudia grinned. "I didn't put those on until I got to school," she whispered. "Mimi's the only grown-up home now, and she doesn't mind if I wear skeletons." "Oh, very sneaky." Claudia knows every trick. As we went up the stairs, Claudia said, "Stacy's already here. I really hope you like her." She lowered her voice. "And Janine's home." I groaned. "Sorry, her door's open too." At that moment, Janine stuck her head out into the hall. "Oh, hi, Christy," she said. "I thought I heard voices. Claudia told me about the Babysitters Club. That sounds like an outstanding idea." "Well, hopefully it will," I began. Janine's face took on her know-it-all look. "Christy, hopefully is one of the most commonly misused words in the English language. The word means in a hopeful manner. It is not acceptable to use it to mean it is to be hoped. If I didn't have the vaguest idea what she was talking about. Gee, Janine, I gotta go." I cut her off as Claudia went on into her room. "Stacy's waiting for us. See you." I really cannot take much of Janine, and I always make a mistake in front of her. I don't know how Claudia manages to live in the same house with her. Just as I reached Claudia's bedroom, the doorbell rang. "Oh, that's Marianne," I called. "I'll let her in, Claude." I ran downstairs, opened the door, warned Marianne about Janine, then ran back upstairs with Marianne at my heels. We ran straight to Claudia's room, careful not to look in at Janine as we ran by her open door. "Hi," Claudia said, closing her door behind us. "You guys, this is Stacy McGill. Stacy, this is Christy Thomas, and this is Marianne Spire." "Hi," Stacy and I said brightly. Marianne suddenly turned shy. "Hi," she said softly, speaking more to a wall than to Stacy. I looked at Stacy. I could see why she and Claudia were friends already. Stacy had on a pink sweatshirt with sequins and a large purple parrot on the front, short, tight-fitting jeans with zippers up the outsides of the legs, and pink plastic shoes. She was very pretty, tall and quite thin, with huge blue eyes framed by dark lashes and fluffy blonde hair that looked as if it had been permed recently. I glanced at Marianne. She and I were still in our school clothes, skirts and blouses. I was wearing white knee socks and loafers. Marianne was wearing short white socks and saddle shoes. Marianne's hair was, of course, in braids, and I was wearing a blue hairband. We looked like second graders. Stacy and Claudia looked like models. There was an uncomfortable silence. "Well," I cleared my throat. "Claudia, did you tell Stacy about the Babysitters Club?" "Just what we talked about yesterday," she replied. "Did you babysit in New York?" I asked Stacy. "Oh, all the time. We lived in this big building. There were over 200 apartments in it." "Wow," said Marianne. "And I used to put up signs in the laundry room. People called me all the time." She paused. "I can stay out until 10 on Friday and Saturday nights." Another wow from Marianne. I was feeling more and more like a baby. How was it possible to feel so much younger than someone who was the same age as you? "I'd really like to be in the club," said Stacy. "I don't know too many kids in Stony Brook yet, and it'd be nice to earn some money. My mom and dad buy me clothes, but I have to earn money for other things. You know, tapes and jewelry and stuff." "How come you left New York?" asked Marianne. Marianne has a real thing for New York, for glamour and lights and stores. She wants to live in the city after she's grown up. Stacy looked at the floor. She started jiggling her right foot back and forth. "Oh," she said lightly, "my dad changed his job. Gosh, you have a lot of neat posters, Claudia." "Thanks. I made those two myself." Claudia pointed to a picture of a horse galloping through a desert and to another of a girl sitting on a window seat gazing outside. "Boy, if I lived in New York, I wouldn't leave for anything," Marianne went on. "Tell me what it's like to live there. What was your school like?" "Well," said Stacy, "I went to a private school. Did you have to wear a uniform? Asked Claudia, shuddering. Nope, we could wear regular clothes. How did you get to school? Asked Marianne. On the subway. Wow. Once, Stacy added, seeing how impressed Marianne was, I took the subway all the way from our apartment to Coney Island. I had to change about a zillion times. Wow. Did you ever take a cab by yourself? Sure, lots of times. Wow. At Marianne's last wow, we all began giggling. Well, anyway, I said, to get back to the Babysitters Club, what I think we should do is make 2 lists. One of rules and one of things to do. Does this mean, Stacy interrupted me, that I'm in the club? I glanced at Marianne, who nodded her head. I already knew what Claudia thought. Yep, I said. Oh, hey, great, Stacy exclaimed, grinning. Claudia gave her the thumbs up sign. Then she pulled a package of peanut M&Ms from under her pillow. We should celebrate, she said, handing the candy around. Marianne and I were starved and each gobbled down a handful. But Stacy just glanced in the package and then passed it back to Claudia. You've only got 5 left, she said. Oh, go ahead, replied Claudia. I've got lots of stuff stashed away. Mom and Dad don't know about it. She said she had bubble gum in her underwear drawer, a chocolate bar behind her encyclopedias, a package of Twinkies in her desk drawer, and some wintergreen lifesavers in her piggy bank. No thanks, said Stacy. I'm on a diet. You? I cried. You're skinny already. Stacy was the first person my age I knew who was on a diet. How much do you weigh? I demanded. Christy, Claudia exclaimed, that's none of your business. But it's not safe to diet if you don't need to, my mom said. Does your mother know you're dieting? Well, I'll bet she doesn't. At that moment, someone knocked on Claudia's door. Marianne, Janine called. Your father phoned on the other line. He says it's time for you to go home. Marianne looked at her watch. 6:10, she cried. Oh, no, I'm late. Oh, Dad hates it when I'm late. Thanks, Janine. I have to go, you guys. Wait, I said, we didn't finish making our plans. Let's meet tomorrow at recess, suggested Claudia. Really? I said. Recently, Claudia has been spending recess watching the cute boys play basketball. She never wants to play foursquare or tetherball with Marianne and me. Sure, she said. As soon as we're done with lunch, we'll meet outside by the gym door. Somebody remember to bring a pad of paper and a pen. I will, I volunteered. Marianne stood up then and practically flew home. I better go too, said Stacy. Me too, I said. Claudia walked us to the door and we went our separate ways. The Friday lunch at Stony Brook Middle School is always the same. Sloppy Joes, red jello with canned fruit in it, a dinky cup of coleslaw, milk, and a fudgesicle. I truly hate it. Except for the fudgesicle. After Marianne and I had forced down as much as possible, we went outside to wait for Claudia and Stacy. We hadn't sat with them in the cafeteria because they were eating at a table full of the most sophisticated 7th grade girls, whom we hardly knew, and some boys. How they could eat with boys was beyond me. The boys are always doing gross things, like smushing up peas and ravioli in their milk cartons to see what colors they can make. Claudia seems to think those things are hilarious. So Marianne and I reached the gym door first. We played a fast game of tetherball while we waited. I won. I usually do. I'm good at sports. Hi, you guys, called Claudia about 10 minutes later. She and Stacy were walking across the playground. Hi, we answered. The 4 of us went to a quiet corner of the school building and sat down on some empty packing crates. I've got the paper and pen, I said, and something else. I pulled the list that I had made Tuesday night from my pocket and pointed to section 2, which was labeled advertising. This is what we have to do next. Let people know what we're doing. Right, agreed Claudia from underneath an outrageous red felt hat, which her teacher wouldn't allow her to wear in the classroom. I think flyers are the easiest way to tell people about our club. We can make up a nice ad, and my mom can Xerox it at her office. Then we can stick copies in people's mailboxes. We can do it in our neighborhood and on other streets too, anywhere that's in bike riding distance. Marianne, your dad would let you sit in another neighborhood if it weren't too far away, wouldn't he? I guess so, Marianne replied uncertainly. I saw Stacy glance curiously at Marianne. Good, I said. Now we already have a name, the Babysitters Club. Do you think we should have some kind of symbol or sign too? You know, like the symbol that's on Girl Scout cookies or the sun that's on the stationery my mom's company uses? Yeah, said Stacy. That's a good idea. We could put it on top of our flyers. Claudia, you could draw something for us. I don't know, said Claudia. Come on, you're a great artist, I exclaimed. You can draw anything. I know I could draw, but I'm not good at, symbols and stuff. Janine's better at those things. Oh, forget Janine, I said. Anyway, we're all going to think of the symbol. We're a club. We have to agree on things. Now, what could we use? Well, said Marianne, it could either be something that has to do with babysitters, like a child or a helping hand, or it could just be something we like, a rainbow or a shooting star or a frog. A frog! I burst out. I began to giggle. So did Claudia and Stacy. Marianne looked embarrassed. Then she began to laugh too. How about a warthog? Suggested Claudia. A nerd, said Stacy. Dog food! We were all laughing so hard we could barely talk. Okay, let's be serious, I said when we had calmed down. Lunch is going to be over in 10 minutes. How about something with our names in it? Suggested Stacy. Yeah, said Marianne and Claudia and I. But then we couldn't think of anything. How about an alphabet block with our initials on it? Said Marianne. Oh, that's cute, said Claudia. But there are 4 of us, and you can't show more than 3 sides of a block at one time. Oh, yeah, said Marianne slowly. Claudia understands that kind of thing better than we do. Wait a minute, Claudia cried. I've got it. I could draw something like this. She took the pen and paper from me and drew this. That's terrific. Oh, really terrific, I exclaimed. It's perfect. Claudia, you're a... I stopped. I had almost said genius, but Claudia's pretty touchy about that word. A pro, I finished. The bell rang then, and we had to go inside. But first we agreed to spend the weekend working on the Babysitters Club.